All right, good evening, everybody. Frankie here with your fourth stimulus check update and related news. It's been a while since I've actually been on here and done an entire update on this because Congress, and it continues actually, but Congress was just stuck in a rut, and they still are a little bit, but there's a little bit of forward momentum here with Social Security at least. I want to talk about the potential increases in Social Security here, and a potential forced stimulus check of $1,400 to $2,000 that may be coming soon for Social Security recipients. And that's just because of the inflation alone, not necessarily because of COVID. Although the inflation is related to COVID, the actual stimulus check wouldn't be. They're not going to issue stimulus checks for COVID anymore. That's pretty much done. I think states will still issue them, some counties, some cities. In fact, Los Angeles is doing a pilot program for over 3,000 residents where they're getting $1,000 a month until the pandemic ends. So they're testing it out in certain areas. But I do not think we're going to see any monthly stimulus checks on the federal level, because the Omicron is starting to take its course and it's starting to peak in certain areas. In other areas, it's beyond the peak and it's starting to drop. If you take the cases as a whole, we are back down to under 500,000 cases. We were over 1 million just a couple of weeks ago. So that tells you there that we're starting to get a little bit closer to normal. I still think it is not entirely out of the question that a fourth stimulus check is issued for people making under maybe $30,000, a very tight. And the reason I say that is just because of inflation. If they can find a way to pay for a fourth stimulus check, it would be because of the inflation related to COVID, and would probably most likely be the last check of this duration. Because it would help the economy recover quite a bit if they did do a $1,400 or $2,000 stimulus check for everybody. At least people making under a pretty minimal threshold there, probably going to be pretty tight. I don't think it's going to be 75,000 or probably not even 50,000. Probably going to be more like 30,000 if it happens at all. But most likely for Social Security, there will be a fourth stimulus check at some point. That's the highest chance for Social Security getting a $1,400 to $2,000 stimulus check in the coming weeks. Might it be added to the Build Back Better package? We'll wait and see. But Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, the two, continued to oppose certain things in that package. I don't know whether or not they oppose stimulus checks for certain groups like Social Security, but they do oppose of the overall package, and continue to say it's going to add to inflation, which I don't agree with at all. It's paid for in full, so I don't see how it's going to add to inflation if it's paid for in full already. So let me know what you think in the comments. But there's also I want to move on here to the next portion of the stimulus for Social Security here. There's also groups advocating, and this is a now introduced bill, for $200 raise in Social Security. This would be all Social Security would go up by $200, or to a minimum of $1,341 a month, whichever one might work out. That would be an average of $150 to $200 more per Social Security recipient. So keep that in mind. That's being pushed towards this year, and I think at the end here, this is going to eventually pass, because Social Security recipients really don't get enough money to support themselves. So a $1,400 check, maybe a $2,000 check, plus that bump, that monthly raise in Social Security benefits, will help them out. So if you know anybody that's on Social Security, if you're on Social Security, you're going to want to share this video and let them know that there could be a fourth stimulus check coming. It is being advocated for by lots of lawmakers. So we'll see what happens going forward. That's all I have for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great afternoon.